तो यहाँ पे हर कण पावन है यहाँ।
Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lynn. Namaskar. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. ISRO successfully parks Aditya L1 in a halo orbit around Lagrange point 1 of the Sun-Earth system. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi says it's yet another landmark. Top US and European diplomats visit West Asia to prevent the conflict from a spillover. The US Secretary of State Blinken meets his Turkish counterpart. EU's Borrell is in Lebanon. All preparations in place for Bangladesh's 12th parliamentary election on Sunday. The main opposition, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, has called a nationwide strike. 4 have been killed as miscreants set fire to the train in Dhaka. Aditya L1, the Indian Space Research Organization's maiden solar mission, has entered the final orbit to discover the mysteries of the Sun-Earth connection. Aditya L1 spacecraft is in the final orbit and it's located 1.5 million kilometers away from the Earth. The mission aims to observe the Sun's corona and understand its extreme heat from a halo orbit around the first Sun-Earth Lagrangian point, which is located roughly 1.5 million kilometers from the Earth. The 7 payloads of Aditya L1 are indigenously developed by different laboratories in the country. The Solar Ultraviolet Imaging Telescope to image the solar photosphere and chromosphere in near ultraviolet, and also to measure the solar irradiance variations in near UV. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched, in fact, he lauded ISRO's feat. In a social media post, he said, the nation has created yet another landmark. India's first solar observatory, Aditya L1, has reached its destination, which is a testament to the relentless dedication of scientists in realizing among the most complex and intricate space missions. The Prime Minister applauded the extraordinary feat. PM Modi said that the nation will continue to pursue new frontiers of science for the benefit of humanity. Our correspondent Aisha Khanum is joining us live now. She is at the ISRO headquarters. Aisha, what are the objectives of Aditya L1 mission?
Well, Mark, we just spoke to the ISRO chairman, Somnath, and he clearly outlined the objectives of the L1 mission, and he said that the main objective will be to study the solar flares and the solar ejections, which could be dangerous, which could cause severe damage to the entire satellite system in the space, and also it could affect the systems on Earth as such. So these ejections are still a mystery. So this the solar ejections are a mystery, and Aditya L1 will study the cause of these ejections, why they erupt, and how preventive measures can be taken to see to that the systems are safe. And also another important mission of Aditya L1 is to study the space weather. Now, this will bring out data to calculate the space weather. Remember, there are so many interplanetary missions, explorations that will be taken up in the next few years, where India will also be looking at building a space station. So this will be this will be handy in studying the space weather with regard to maintaining the systems stable in the space. So these are the main missions of Aditya L1, which will start unfolding from tomorrow onwards.
Also, Aisha, how long is the life of this mission, and what are the long-term contributions of space weather science?
Well, this mission is intended to be lasting for 5 years, and the scientists hope that the 5 years data will be enough to, build a huge database, a voluminous database to study the scientific details of the sun and its activities. Now, the payloads which are there on Aditya L1 mission will be sending pictures as much as 1,400 pictures per day. So this calculated in 5 years, imagine the volume of data that will be gathered. So now it will be over to the Indian Institute of Astrophysics, who will analyze and decode the data as it comes from ISRO's tracking centers at Bailalu in Bangalore. So and then the scientific missions will also begin, as ISRO will start to exchange this data with the international community as well. And then this data will be decoded. As I said, it will be required for the betterment of mankind and human life on Earth.
Aisha Khanam from Bengaluru, thank you very much for joining us and enlightening us about this mission. Our next story is the Israeli Defense Forces. They've hit parts of Lebanon on Saturday. This was shortly after a series of rocket launches from Lebanon into northern Israel. The Lebanese armed group, that's the Hezbollah, they said that they had hit a key Israeli observation post early on Saturday. Hezbollah fired 62 rockets as a preliminary response to the killing of the Hamas deputy chief earlier this week. Now, Israel continues its operation against Hamas. On Saturday, the IDF targeted the quarters of Hamas, which was under a hotel near the beach in northern Gaza. And the IDF said that the terrorists had exploited this hotel, using the place to plan and execute attacks. Multiple weapons, explosives, and drones were found at this hotel. In a new diplomatic push to avoid the spillover of the Israel-Hamas conflict beyond Gaza, top U.S. and European diplomats are visiting the region. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Saturday first met Turkey's Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan in Istanbul. He was also scheduled to meet President Tayyip Erdogan. Now, Erdogan is a strong critic of Israel's military actions in Gaza. The talks are also expected to cover Turkey's process of ratifying Sweden's membership of NATO. This is Blinken's fourth visit to West Asia since the Israel-Hamas conflict began in October. Meanwhile, the European Union's foreign policy chief, Joseph Borrell, who's on the screen, is visiting Lebanon to explore ways to avoid regional escalation. Iranian security forces arrested 11 suspects in connection with twin bomb blasts in Kerman on Wednesday. Iran's intelligence ministry said that the security forces had arrested 2 people in connection with the suicide bombing in Kerman, as well as 9 others in different parts of Iran suspected to be involved in the incident. The Islamic State K group has claimed responsibility for the attacks, which killed nearly 100 people and several others were injured. The attack came as thousands of people gathered for a procession to mark the anniversary of General Qasem Soleimani's assassination. News from Japan after the deadly 7.6 magnitude earthquake hit the peninsula. The Noto region of Japan's Ishikawa prefecture is suffering severe water and food shortage. However, in Wajima City, Japanese residents were elated after a local supermarket opened its doors for people to get their supplies. The Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said that the death toll from the massive earthquake has crossed 100, and he stressed the need to improve routes as well as road conditions so that the evacuation centers can deliver more supplies for the evacuees.
We need to strengthen delivery routes for food, water and portable toilets. We need to improve disposal of human waste, medical assistance from the disaster medical assistant team, and set up makeshift beds and dividers for privacy. In addition, we need to strengthen police car patrolling for security.
Bangladesh is all set for its 12th parliament election, scheduled to take place on Sunday. The fate of 1,970 candidates are going to be decided. The fate is going to be decided by 180 million Bangladeshis. On the 7th of January, the ruling party, which is the Awami League, will look forward to re-election. making it to their fourth consecutive term. Meanwhile, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, which is the main opposition party, has called a countrywide strike from Saturday morning to Monday morning as part of their movement to boycott the national elections, alleging that free and fair elections are not possible under the current government. Whereas the Dhaka Metropolitan Police, they have banned movement of taxi cabs, pickups, microbuses, trucks and the like from Saturday midnight to Sunday midnight. The armed forces are going to be deployed across Bangladesh till the 10th of January to ensure peace and order before, during and after the election day. Meanwhile, at least 4 people were killed and several injured as unidentified miscreants set fire to Benapole Express train, which was in Dhaka on Friday night. 4 compartments of the Dhaka-bound Benapole Express train were burnt at Gopi Bagh in Dhaka just before reaching the Kamalapur railway station. Amid polls, Bangladesh's Foreign Secretary Masood bin Momen highlighted India and Bangladesh's strong relationship as both countries laid the foundation of new projects recently.
One thing I would like to see is more progress in connectivity and also, projects, joint projects with mutual economic benefits. And already some of the, foundations have been laid. Therefore, I think, with good results in the elections, upcoming elections, both in Bangladesh and subsequently in India, these various connectivity-related projects will further be strengthened, and therefore the economic relationship between the two countries, which has also flourished in recent times in terms of higher volumes of trade from both sides.
Bolivia announced a record cocaine seizure from the country's western Oruro department. The drugs were hidden in wooden flooring material, which was found in a truck. They were likely bound for the Netherlands, where the value is estimated to be around $526 million. Bolivian president said that this is one of the largest ever seizures recorded in the South American country. A 7-year-old dog named Cecil, belonging to a Pennsylvania couple, ate $4,000 of cash off the counter, off the kitchen counter of the couple. The couple had taken the money out of the bank for their home improvement project and set it on the counter before Cecil jumped up and tore the money to shreds. Meanwhile, the bank has said that's going to replace the bank notes. They said that they would replace the bank notes that had the most of the serial numbers intact. Sri Lanka is hosting its first ever Jellycatu event in Trincomalee. The event features more than 200 bulls, and I beg your pardon, and over 100 skilled bull tamers. During Jellycatu, ferocious bulls are released into a crowd and participants attempt to tame them by grabbing their humps and horns. The sport has been a symbol of valor, courage and rural identity. The 40th Harbin International Ice and Snow Sculpture Festival officially opened in China with a spectacular fireworks display and over 100 different ice and snow leisure activities. The festival's opening marked the beginning of the Ice City's winter tourism golden period, with the event set to run for around 2 months until early March. Still to come here on DD India Live. We look at how INS Chennai came to the rescue of a merchant vessel that was being hijacked in the Arabian Sea. And we also get an update on the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's 3-day visit to Jaipur. And US President Biden marks 3 years since the January 6 insurrection targeting his rival Donald Trump.
Voice of a rising aspirational world. Stories of challenges, struggles and accomplishment. a world battling conflict, hunger and poverty. Embracing growth, development, science and technology. A voice of progress, a voice of unity. Watch Voice of the Global South with me, Akshay Dongre, only on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. My name is Mark Lin. The Indian Navy on Friday rescued the crew of a merchant vessel after its attempted hijack in the Arabian Sea and said that it had not found any pirates on board. An Indian naval warship intercepted the Liberian-flagged MV Leela Norfolk. It was a bulk carrier less than a day after it received a report that the vessel had been hijacked. The rescued Indian crew members on board the hijacked merchant vessel in the Arabian Sea expressed their gratitude to the Indian Navy.
These are the visuals of rescued ship by Indian Navy on Friday. The prompt response probably forced the pirates to abandon the hijacked ship in the Arabian Sea. Rescued Indian crew members expressed gratitude to the Navy. In a statement, the Navy said, Indian Navy's swift response to the hijacking attempt of MV Leela Norfolk in the North Arabian Sea, all 21 crew, including 15 Indians on board, safely evacuated from the citadel. Sanitization by Marcos has confirmed absence of the hijackers. The attempt of hijacking by pirates was probably abandoned with the forceful warning by the Indian Navy, MPA, of interception by Indian naval warship. INS Chennai is in the vicinity of merchant vessel and rendering support to restore the power generation and propulsion and commence her voyage to next port of call. Indian naval forces are investigating the suspected vessels in the area. Presently, the crew of merchant vessel is engaged in restoring propulsion, power supply and steering gear. Thereafter, MV Leela Norfolk will recommence her passage to her destination under escort of the Indian naval warship.
The Indian economy is expected to grow 7.3% in the current financial year, 2023-24. Remaining the fastest growing major economy. As per the latest estimates of the Indian National Statistics Office, manufacturing sector is estimated to expand 6.5% in 2023-24 as compared to 1.3% from the last fiscal. Construction sector output is expected to grow 10.7%, up from 10% in the previous year. Overall, the industrial sector is expected to grow by 7.9%, indicating an improvement from 4.4% in the previous fiscal. And the services sector will have a growth rate of 7.7%. The financial year 2024 estimate for the farm sector growth is stood at 1.8%. India is poised to emerge as a potential global leader in battery swapping technology as the sector shows optimistic growth in the recent years. Battery swapping technology, the potential in India, particularly for 2- to 3-wheelers, has shown an optimistic trend over the past 5 years. The sector has raised an impressive funding, underscoring the significant demand and the potential within the sector, according to data by Traxon, which is a capital market company. Investment in this space up to approximately $135 million raised since 2021 across 17 funding rounds. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a 3-day visit to Jaipur, which is the capital in the state of Rajasthan. And he's participating in the National Conference of Director Generals and Inspector Generals of Police. This 3-day event, it was inaugurated on the 5th of January by the Home Minister of India, Amit Shah. And the conference deliberates on challenges of safety and security. Vice President Jagdwardhan attended the inauguration of the 500th Center of Ek Se Shresht, along with an interactive session with children at Hamirpur in Himachal Pradesh. The Vice President planted a sapling on the occasion. The Information and Broadcasting Minister, Anurag Singh Thakur of India, was present. Speaking on the occasion, the Vice President of India, Jagdeep Dhankar, said that India is the 5th superpower nation, and within a few years, India will leave Japan and Germany behind. Earlier in the program, India's Information Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur also addressed the attendees. Let's listen.
एक जीवन धर्म है और इस जीवन धर्म को निभाने वाली मेरे ऐसे 500 टीचर्स में से 95% से ज्यादा महिलाएं हैं। यानी कि मेरी बहनें आज टीचर के रूप में काम करी 95%, और इन 9000 बच्चों में भी 48% से ज्यादा बेटियां हैं और 51% बेटे हैं। सर, ये जितने कार्यक्रम चलते हैं, चाहे अस्पताल हो, सांसद मोबाइल स्वास्थ्य सेवा, इसमें 85% जिनको नौकरी मिली है, डॉक्टर, लैब टेक्नीशियन या बाकी, ये महिलाएं हैं। और हमारा जो एक से श्रेष्ठ कार्यक्रम है, इसमें 90% टीचर महिलाएं हैं। ऐसे जो आपको जीवन के लिए अलग अलग कार्यक्रमों में सिखाया जाता है, वो महिलाएं हैं। हमारे सांसद खेल महाकुंभ में भी महिलाएं बढ़ चढ़कर आगे भाग ले रही हैं।
India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar spoke about competitive life, and one should follow their interests. This is what he said. He was speaking at the 9th International Conference on Life Skills Education at the Mar Theophilus Training College, which is in Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala.
Life is competitive. Yeah. In every form. I mean, every day in some form we compete with each other. Sometimes consciously, sometimes naturally. But because it is competitive, doesn't mean that we subjugate all our other interests and relationships and feelings in the pursuit of competition.
The Bureau of Indian Standards celebrated the 77th Foundation Day on Saturday. The event was attended by the Union Minister Ashwini Kumar Chaubey. The Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal virtually delivered the presidential address, and he stressed that India should be a pioneer of standards. The Bureau of Indian Standards, along with the Department of Promotion for the Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, they organized this dialogue for strengthening quality ecosystem in India. This is to mark the day. India's health sector has consistently taken center stage on the global platform. The AIIMS Delhi, they've achieved another significant milestone by successfully performing, and this is a craniotomy, which they took happened while the person was awake, on a 5-year-old child. The neuroanesthesia team, in fact, achieved this rare feat on the 4th of January 2024 by conducting this awake craniotomy, utilizing the conscious sedation technique. That means this girl happens to be the world's youngest child also to have undergone this procedure. The Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra is being undertaken across India with the aim of informing people about the government's measures, or the welfare measures for the people, ensuring that the benefits reach the targeted beneficiaries in a time-bound manner. So this yatra, or this journey, it has reached India's union territory of Jammu and Kashmir and has been there for some time. The van arrived in Kathua district, where the local communities welcomed it with enthusiasm. And on the occasion, several beneficiaries shared their progressive stories. This is under what's called Meri Kahani, Meri Zubani, where they tell their own experiences and explain how the schemes have helped them. Now, in Goa, in fact, what's happening is that it's set to host what's called the International Purple Fest 2024, welcoming over 8,000 participants from India and various countries from January 8. It's a 2-day inaugural event, and it has been organized by the Global Echoes Advancing Sign Language Interpreting in Deaf Education. 40 sign language interpreters have gathered for enhanced accessibility at the International Purple Festival. The inaugural session saw the presence of dignitaries, including the Social Welfare Minister of Goa, the Goa State Commissioner, as well as this is the Goa State Commissioner for persons with disabilities. Some international news. The U.S. President Joe Biden put safety and defense of democracy at the center of his speech during a campaign in the state of Pennsylvania on Friday. Biden used the occasion to mark 3 years of the January 6 attack on the Capitol, targeting the former president, Donald Trump.
Today, I make this sacred pledge to you: the defense, protection, and preservation of American democracy will remain, as it has been, the central cause of my presidency.
Well, Donald Trump hit back at the Democratic President, Joe Biden, and he addressed several hundred supporters as well during his speech in the state of Iowa on Friday. The former president also presented a dark portrait of the United States, listing its failing policies, its immigration issues, and others.
Under the Trump administration, you were better off, your family was better off, your neighbors were better off, your communities were better off, and our country was better off. The whole country was better off. America was stronger, richer, safer, and more confident. But now we're a nation in decline. We are a failing nation. We are a nation that has lost its confidence.
Well, the United States Supreme Court is going to hear the former President Donald Trump's appeal of the Colorado ballot disqualification on Friday. Now, the appeal follows Colorado Supreme Court's December 19 ruling, which barred Trump from the state's primary ballot for engaging in that insurrection, which the anniversary is today, involving the U.S. Capitol attack on January 6, 2021 by his supporters.
Is taking the case from Colorado, and so they'll make a decision. And you know what I do find, and maybe say it, maybe don't, but I say it. I guess it's a different wiring system or something, but all I want is fair. I fought really hard to get 3 very, very good people, and they're great people, very smart people, and I just hope that they're going to be fair because, the other side plays the ref.
The International Cricket Council has announced the schedule for the 2024 T20 World Cup, the tournament which is to be hosted by the United States and the West Indies is going to see co-hosting USA, kicking it off a campaign. They're going to start against Canada, another country in North America, on January 1. The tournament will end on June 29. We're talking about June here. England, they are the title holders, having beaten Pakistan in Melbourne in November of 2022. Let's look at this package. It tells us the details.
Announced the schedule and groups for the 2024 T20 Cricket World Cup to be held in West Indies and USA. The showpiece event will begin from June 1 with the final on June 29. Co-host USA will take on Canada in the opening match on June 1. India will start their campaign on June 5 against Ireland. The men in blue then take on arch rivals Pakistan on 9th of June, USA on June 12, and Canada on June 15th. Defending champions England and 2021 winner Australia have been assigned to Group B, which also includes Namibia, Scotland, and Oman. New Zealand are in Group C with the West Indies, Afghanistan, Uganda, and Papua New Guinea. South Africa has been assigned to Group D, which includes Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Netherlands, and Nepal. While the format that was used till 2022 featured a qualification stage consisting of associate and lower ranked countries before a Super 12 stage followed by the knockouts, the new format will have 2 group stages involving all the 20 teams and then the semi-finals. The teams are divided into 5 groups of 4 teams each. The teams that finish in the top 2 of each of these groups then qualify for the Super 8s, where they will be divided into 2 groups of 4. The teams that finish in the top 2 then subsequently play the semi-finals. The group stage will be held from June 1 to 18, followed by the Super 8 matches, which will take place from June 19 to 24. The semi-finals of the tournament will take place on June 26 and 27. The first semi-final will take place in Guyana and the second will be held in Trinidad. The final will be played in Barbados. A total of 55 matches will be played across 9 venues, as the 9th edition of the cricketing extravaganza kicks off on June.
Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India Live. Let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on Facebook, X, which was formerly Twitter, and Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. My name is Mark Lin. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks very much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.